Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Earlier, keeper Luke Daniels was the hero as his save steered Shrewsbury to Wembley. Delight for Paul Simpson. Now Gillingham and Rochdale fight for the right to face them in the League Two final. And after a goalless draw in the first leg at Scotland, it's all still to play for. At the Priestfield Stadium, where it is a sellout tonight, it's the Coca-Cola League Two semi-final second leg. Gillingham and Rochdale goalless so far. We're live on Sky Sports 1 and in high definition on HD1, that's channel 408. So Shrewsbury await in the final, but who will join them? Rochdale reached the final last season and Gillingham have had their own playoff success before. Peter Taylor was in charge 9 years ago when they made it to the Championship. Peter's our guest this evening. And, of course, promoted with Wycombe from League Two as well this season. Congratulations on that, Peter. It must be much more enjoyable watching these playoffs and being involved in them. Yeah, I saw the game earlier and you feel for the managers. But, of course, the chance to get to Wembley and to try and get promotion that way is also the icing on the cake. So there have been some great games. How do you feel this one is set up then? 0-0 at Scotland. Yeah, I think Gillingham are one of the best teams in the division at the minute. I think that they've been the real form team. Rochdale, excellent football side. I thought the other day when they played, Gillingham looked the better team, but they were away from home playing 4-3-3. Very difficult to break down, and I thought they counter-attacked really well. But Rochdale, as I say, Rochdale also a very, very good football team, and it would never surprise me if they was to get an away win. Yeah, they've been talking about their strength maybe on the counter-attack here, but what did Gillingham do well, Peter? Well, in the first game, they played 4-3-3, which was very hard to break down. I thought then they had the extra body in the middle of the park, and I think then they stopped Rochdale having any good possession. Tonight, it looks as though they might be playing the same shape, which I'm a little bit surprised at. At home, sometimes the 4-3-3 doesn't work. But also, with Rochdale, I think that, you know, going forward, they're as good as any team in the division. Well, our reporter Johnny Phillips has already grabbed a word with Keith Hill and Mark Stimson.
Mark, does the fact that you haven't lost to Rochdale in 3 games this season give you an edge today?
No, not at all. It's about today who turns up. Hopefully it's a good game. We're expecting a tough game because Rochdale are a good football team and we've got to match them today and hopefully take the opportunity.
Tension and nerves amongst you and your players?
No, I think it's excitement. You know, the stadium's full up. It's great to see. This game's going to be involved in and it's about who performs on the day now. What sort of shape are the players in?
Confident, very relaxed. You know, you can see the finishing line, if you like, and we're really looking forward to the proposition of going through to Wembley.
Does the fact that this game is away from home trouble you at all?
Not at all. We've got a good record away from home over the 2.5 seasons that we've been together, so it just represents a footballing challenge. We're more than capable of winning it.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Cheers. For one of these guys, Peter, their season is over here. What would be the final words, do you think, on their way out? Don't be disappointed at the end that you haven't performed. I think really, you know, as Mark said there, it's a full house, great atmosphere. The playoff game's a fantastic atmosphere, especially the second legs. And so I would say just give it everything you've got and just don't be disappointed at the end that you haven't performed as well as everybody knows you can. Let's get a check on the teams then. Your match commentators this evening, Tony Gale and Daniel Mann.
Thanks very much indeed, David. Welcome to a crackling atmosphere at Priestfield, where Mark Stimson sticks with the same 11 that earned a draw at Scotland on Thursday night. Simeon Jackson was withdrawn early then, but the 18-goal top scorer should be fresher for all that. Andy Barcham, recently of Tottenham, was their biggest goal threat on the night, while Simon King was their outstanding performer at the back, as he has been all season. Well, Rochdale have sprung a slight surprise. Their top scorer, a much-hyped young star, left out. Chris Dagnall replaces 20-goal frontman Adam Lafondre. He started and ended their best attacking move of the first leg. Local boy Joe Thompson gets a start to on the right in place of Will Buckley. It's the side that finished Thursday's match, and but for Frank Fielding's good working goal, the tie would have been all but finished then. Well, Lafondre and Buckley are held in reserve for Rochdale. Gillingham's bench, like the starting 11, unchanged. Well, for Mark Stimpson, his only previous experience of the Football League playoffs was as a Newcastle player back in 1990. Drew away from home 0-0 and then lost at home to Sunderland in the semi-final. Well, Chris Dagnall as a substitute was probably Rochdale's biggest threat in the end in that first leg at Spotland. Certainly created and saw the best chance of the game disappear when Simon Royce made a sharp save. Well, strong minds, strong hearts required on an occasion like this, and perhaps both sides need to be a little braver than they were in that first leg at Spotland. But certainly Keith Hill is coming here with plenty of confidence. Their away record overall has been pretty good this season, and they are noted for their strength on the counter-attack. Well, forget the first leg. It is now effectively a one-off knockout tie. Gillingham with home advantage, having won every single playoff match they played at Priestfield. Rochdale have only won twice on this ground in the 94 years of the fixture. And it is a terrific atmosphere now in a packed house here at Priestfield. And with home advantage, and given what they showed in the first leg, Tony Gale, I think we're making Gillingham slight favourites, aren't we?
Yeah, slight favourites, Dan, but I think the two sides are evenly matched, as we saw in that first leg. It's interesting, the two formations, the 4-4-2 against the 4-3-3. It's a question of where you got that spare man. Gillingham have got it in the middle of midfield, but on the big occasion, can they play the football in there that they need to get up and support with the striker, Simeon Jackson? The three have to get it down and play when you're playing this system.
Frank Fielding, the man who prevented Gillingham from doing real damage at Spotland on Thursday night. On loan from Blackburn Rovers and an England under-21 international, so a growing reputation. For Rochdale, given how long it is since their one and only promotion, it could be a night when legends are made this evening. And if they can get to Wembley for a second successive season, hoping though for the opposite result. Toner to fire it forward towards Lee Thorpe. Battle on with Simon King, and he ended up winning it.
Well, not the best of crosses in the end by Lee Thorpe, but we saw in the first leg what a handful he is, and now King handled him really well. That's round one to Thorpe, though. No one in the middle, so he's got the best of crosses, but he's won that first physical battle. That's important. Very, very important. I expect this first 20 minutes to be super competitive. Brave man if you put your foot on the ball, but you've got to be brave.
That's stolen back by Gary Jones, the Rochdale skipper. Forward by Nutter. Lewis, who had one memorable effort on Thursday night himself. Well, they stayed overnight in the Midlands after Thursday night's match to avoid the rigours of the full trip back to Kent straight after the game. Rochdale, despite the seeming disadvantage of playing the second leg away from home, were quite happy with the way things panned out in the end, with the defeat against Gillingham on the final day of the regular league season at home. That's Kennedy. He uses Rundle. Forward for Gary Jones. Kennedy. Halted by Dennis Ollie.
Encouraging though, Dan, because they put a few passes together there, Rochdale, and that's what you want to do really, to settle your nerves. Just get a couple of passes going, all get a touch of the ball and just fizz it into each other. Pitch is a little bit bobbly out there, end of season pitch. I think they'd have drenched it a little bit more actually, take the bubbles away, but it's just sitting up occasionally off the surface. Won't be that easy to pass it around.
You picked up by Stanton at the back. It really was a case of defences on top. And we talked about Simon King being Gillingham's outstanding performance. Nathan Stanton and Rory McArdle have a case for Rochdale from that first leg as well.
I thought McArdle and Stanton were excellent in the first game, as well as the Gills centre-halves as well, because really they gave Simeon Jackson no chance at all. McCannon came on as well second half, and he got no joy. It's a case, I think, really of Gills trying to get in behind them early on, because Jackson has got that pace, but they've got to get the balls in the right areas for him. Get it to one of the furthest of the three midfield men and try and get him down the sides of the centre-backs, because he's not as strong as them. They've won the physical battle all the time, but he has got that little bit of pace.
Stanton there able to shackle Simeon Jackson. And here's Nutter. Barcher. He's lively. And it's Simon Ramsden who's there. Wright's header, then Gary Jones to step in. Here's Fuller. Well, he'll go for it. The first shot of any description really comes in from Barry Fuller, certainly an ambitious one.
Well, worth a strike. Just comes into that little pocket, and then he's thinking, well, I would have been thinking, let's play off one of the strikers there, or a midfield man, but he's got a little bit ambitious, and it went high and wide.
Well, he's never scored for Gillingham. Barry Fuller, that would have been some way to open the account, to say the least. Towards King, renewing acquaintances with Thorpe, and Thorpe for the second time this evening at the winner. Well, plenty of physical presence, not much in terms of goals of late. Just 1 in 17 games.
Proper handful though, Danny was in the first leg. Jumps early, makes it hard for central defenders.
And terrific noise around Priestfield, and most of it coming from the Rainer men, the goal that Gillingham are defending in this first half. They obviously won their preference in the toss before the match. That's Thompson forward. Gary Richards might be crowded out here. Thorpe again making his considerable presence felt. A right old scrap, those two in the first match.
Yeah, a bit of a ding-dong, wasn't it? He's getting each other at it. That's what it's all about, and I think every time he tries to put his foot on the ball, Richards, that man will be closing him down, Thorpe. Right from the front.
Yes, up goes Kennedy. There's Lewis for Gillingham. McArdle to return the compliment. Josh Wright on loan from Charlton and caught sleeping a little there by Chris Dagnall, who added a little extra in his cameo as a substitute. He was with Rochdale last season for their playoff heartbreak. In the final against Stockport, was also experience of the playoffs, but losing experience with Tranmere Rovers. Here's Thorpe. Lewis. Fuller into Wright. Just gets away from Stuart Lewis.
Well, you see, just pops up off the surface. Got to be very careful, defenders, when they're playing to midfield players where they're back to goal. If they are the last midfield player, they can get it nicked and the opposition be in at you straight away. It's a little bit bobbly up there, so they've got to watch it right onto their foot.
Well, here's Dagnall. Up a bit of a cul-de-sac, and he'll win a free kick. Challenged by Fuller is the one that's penalised.
Well, first important set piece. Great position. Does well, Dagnall, to get the free kick. Crowded out by the two defenders. The set piece is so important, especially in pressure games.
It's Turner who's tasked with the delivery. Tried something a little different, but it didn't pay off at first time of asking. At least they maintain a foothold here, the away side. Kennedy. Well, that's dangerous. Thorpe there in the mix again. No great surprise in that.
He just got too much on it. He just needed to glance it, really. He gets in front of his marker, King, here. Look, King's on the wrong side. He's all over him in the end. Puts enough pressure on him to head it over the top, but just a touch. Tries to do too much with that. Just help it on its way.
That's a positive start from Rochdale on away territory. Only got 1 win in 6 on their travels in the regular league season. That A good scalp as well at Wickham. Here's Toner. Kennedy to take over. Dennis Ollie able to win possession back momentarily. Again at Queen's Park Rangers, Dennis Ollie worked with Mark Stimpson at Grays, and he was his first signing when he moved into the Priestfield hot seat last season. Nearly the ball for Simon Royce. Amazingly, given the length of service he's had in his football career, this is first playoff campaign. Here's Simeon Jackson, first chance for him maybe to influence things. Into Ollie. Dagnall able to seize on it. And putting Richards under some real pressure here. It's good work by the Rochdale front man. Now Rundle. That'll be comfortable for Gary Richards in the end, who was in a bit of trouble momentarily.
That was a shame, because that was a good position for Rundle. He got beyond full back on the far side. Just needed to cross it into that space between back four and keeper, but he didn't connect well.
Weston. Lewis being harried by Thompson, the other new name in the starting lineup tonight, and he's left his mark on Stuart Lewis there. Here's King. Trying to get Ollie in behind. That's what Gillingham are hoping to do as often as possible. And that Rochdale back line turned. Flag up here.
That's a rare sight, isn't it? The centre-back coming out the back, playing off a midfield player, standing in an advanced position. Love to see it. Had a very good game in the first game, Simon King, and has been their man of the season, I think. But that's very encouraging when you see your centre-back coming out the back as a midfield player, because it does make up the spare man.
It's something he's been encouraged to do more and more by Mark Stimpson. Another first set-piece test for Rochdale, but more than comfortable for Frank Fielding.
Poor one, wasn't it? That was a poor one. It's two set pieces and the deliveries haven't been the best.
Joe Thompson picked out here. He's got a lot of work to do. Another promising youngster emerging.
The referee gets it right, doesn't he? The linesman was only a foot away, so I think he was entitled to.
Well, between them, Thompson and Dagnall added a bit of zest to Rochdale's play. Now here's Ollie trying to do that for Gillingham. Barcher. But might fall for Jackson! Well, that's the mark of the man. His 19th goal of the season, and the most important yet for Gillingham. They lead in the playoff semi-final.
Well, it's the first time they've been up the other end, but Barcham was excellent in the first game without ever delivering the final ball. This time he does. Ollie puts him in. You can see he gets to the dead ball line, pulls it back, and Jackson gets across his marker, and he's still got a bit to do there. That's a good finish. Here we go, Ollie slipping him in down the line here. Barcham gets to the dead ball line. Great position to get in. Gets across his marker. That's a good finish. And just be a little bit disappointed, defender and keeper, that they didn't get there, though. He should be half a yard as a defender in front of the striker. They're just looking for the handball there. Probably was handball, but it was a harsh one. It was one that just smashed up into his arm.
Well, Simeon Jackson, his first real chance in the tie, and he's taken it. And while there are grounds for possible complaint from Rochdale, there's nothing they can do about it in the here and now but try and wrestle themselves back on terms as swiftly as possible. Jackson penalised this time. And that really has got things jumping around Priestfield now.
Well, there's a handball in the build-up, as you can see. But was it an accident? You can see Mercado slamming it up. I don't think he can really get his arm out the way, to be honest, there. But don't they make the most of it? They're away down that left-hand side. Barcham quick as anything. Decent cross. Good finish by Jackson.
And when they got in behind, they got a reward. And, well, it's by far the most important strike from Simeon Jackson this season in what has been a very productive campaign. Now, Rochdale, in the 3 matches they've played against Gillingham so far this season, have not managed to achieve a victory. Drew down here, though, earlier in the season. Adam Lafondra on the mark for them that day, and they do have a habit of turning leads around. Recovered 18 points from losing positions in the regular season. The play on here. Fuller into the box. Ollie trying to fashion something. Seen out in the end by Kieran Toner.
Well, for the neutral, Dan, I suppose the game needed a goal. We got it. Strange, though, because Rochdale had the better start, hadn't they? They were pinning it, Gillingham in their own half. They couldn't really get out, couldn't get their passing going. First time they get out the other end, they caused some damage with some effect as well.
That's McArdle to rise, but it might fall for Bartram here. Well, that's clever, trying to get Lewis in.
It's so important that those midfield players in the 3, one joins Jackson all the time. We've got the 2 wide players, but someone has to join that striker all the time, being in and around him.
It's Turner to step in, Weston. The free kick goes against Lewis. Into a high boot. And Keith Hill with an uphill battle now. But they started the brighter Rochdale. How deflated will they be? It's Jackson. On to Lewis. Well, Bartram chasing this one. Can he get there? Fielding alive and alert.
Oh, that's much better. Ball went into Lewis. You saw, sorry, went into the striker, Jackson. Lewis was flying out there in support. So was Weston as well. 2 midfield players gone beyond the striker. That's much better.
Toner in towards Dagnall. Kieran Toner. Rundle the target here, but Fuller's in control. This is Ollie. Chase on here with Kennedy.
You could see that ball bobbling up as he was running along there, couldn't you? He was up and in around his shins. Very, very difficult to run with the ball. Here's the goal again. Breaks the deadlock. Accidental handball in my eyes. Ollie slips in Bartram down the line, gets there, right dead ball line, great position. Jackson gets across his marker and he scores. But you have to say to the marker and the keeper, should we just maybe have got there in front of him? But nevertheless, it's a good finish, isn't it?
He's only, as I said a moment ago, just the one chance that he's had, and he was there to take it. Dagnall raiding here, but good communication between Richards and Royce.
Well, watch the centre-back, because he's running back there. Must have been a bit of communication from Royce to leave it, but he's left it right at the last moment. Any touch, and we're in trouble.
Seeking Jackson again, perhaps it's McArdle who's there. Rundle. Looking for Dagnall, but it's Curtis Weston who read it. And with his surging runs from midfield, he can swiftly turn defence into attack. Shackled on this occasion. Rundle was not alert either there. Toner. An arm impeding Lee Thorpe there from Gary Richards.
Silly foul. This is a good position for the free kick. Look, no need to really come over the top there, Richards. No need to do that whatsoever.
Michael Oliver, sharp-eyed, and possibility here for Rundle's left foot to manufacture something. Rundle will go for the strike, but was never going to seriously trouble Simon Royce.
Yeah, too central. It's got to be heading towards that far post, giving the strikers a chance to get across the keeper.
Fuller surviving that challenge. This is Josh Wright. Up to Simeon Jackson. Meet and greet there with Dave Flitcroft, the Rochdale assistant manager, who was doing a bit of meet and greeting in the league meeting on the final day of the season when he made an unexpected appearance as a substitute, and certainly made his mark on 1 or 2 in Gillingham colours. Simeon Jackson not about to give anything up.
It's not a day for pass backs and a back-pin across like that with this bobbly pitch. It's a thanks very much, pal, when they do one of them to you. Oh.
This one back by Lewis. He'll be there first. It's Ramsden, but a free kick given in Gillingham's favour anyway.
Cracking pace to the game, isn't it? So competitive. And what it lacks sometimes in a little bit of quality down in the lower leagues, it certainly makes up for in competitiveness and fitness with the boys. And it is really difficult to put your foot on the ball.
There's been much more zing about this game, much more zest and energy than we saw at Scotland. Now then, where's this going to drop? Ollie foraging for it. Gary Jones with a bit of an up and under, really. What can Dagnall do with it? Well, it's Fuller who won the chase as they scrap right beneath us.
Well played, Dagnall. He was up against the 2, wasn't he? Nutter and Fuller still won the day.
He's certainly shown plenty to justify his inclusion.
Well, Lafondra looked a little bit off the pace in the first game. I think he's been suffering with a few injuries of late, Dan, but that was the reason, I think, when Dagnall came on, he looked a little bit sharper. Maybe we'll see the introduction of Lafondra later, but Dagnall did look a bit sharper.
They've got 1 or 2 strikers who are struggling a little for goals at the moment, Rochdale. Lafondra's had a relatively barren run as well. Keith Hill showing some neat touches. He was with Blackburn when they went up to the playoffs to the inaugural Premier League back in '92, but didn't play at Plymouth when they went up as well. But it's the heartache of last season that's fresh in the memory with Rochdale. Ollie and Kennedy, that could be one of the big battles of the afternoon.
He's a big lad to be playing on the wide side, isn't he, Dennis Ollie? But he needs really to get a run at someone. When he's standing still, he struggles really to maybe have a trick to get past someone, but he needs that little run at him, Tom Kennedy, and he might give him a bit of a chasing, but Kennedy was his equal there, no problems.
Well, he's up against the League Two Defender of the Year in Tom Kennedy, a player of great pedigree with his heritage, nephew of twice European Cup winner Allen. Fielding comes, and as he did in the first leg a few times, getting a decent level of distance on his punch, is Thompson. Ramsden. Gary Jones. Lee Thorpe will show for it. This is Ramsden. Is there a way through here for Rochdale? Might be for Toner. Ramsden. Go the other way and find Tom Kennedy. Looks for Rundle. 3 in the area waiting. If someone can fashion a cross here.
It was a shame. That was a good build-up, wasn't it? They just needed that final ball into the box on that left-hand side. They built it up down the right, switch play, got a 2-on-1 situation and then didn't deliver. It was good play. Haven't started badly, Rochdale.
Maybe behind, but they've had plenty of attacking threat themselves. Not mustering a really testing effort on goal. Any possession in Gillingham territory. Jackson looking to give Frank Fielding a problem. Well beaten at last, Frank Fielding. Even Stephen on that score. Rochdale with just that tame free kick, which Royce comfortably saved on target from them. Here's Jackson. Oh, he's got the beatings of McCardle. Superb stuff. But Kennedy will block his road.
Well, again, that's where he's better, Jackson. If he's turned and he's running at you or running in behind you, he's a different player to the one who's really trying to shape up and you try to play off of. That's better for him. Get those central defenders out in wider positions, and I'm sure he feels more comfortable there.
It's certainly been a contrast to Thursday night for him. Fielding once again, safe hands at the set piece. Dagnall chasing down. He's actually managed to pick up the pieces here for Rochdale. Thompson in support. This is good play. Just took it a little too far with his first touch, but there's no shortage of determination from Dagnall.
Proper tackle from the centre forward, but unfortunately the first touch led him into it. But again, great harrying. Really forced an error out of Fuller and made something out of nothing.
We talk about strikers having a selfish streak. He tends to have what you might call a selfless streak. He really does put in a shift from the team, whether he's up front or in a wide role, which he's played a lot this season as well. A sign from Tranmere Rovers, where he fell out of favour after a few injury problems, after a terrific start to his career at Prenton Park as a youngster. And he's no veteran now at 23, to be fair. A terrific tempo to this match, a little bit in contrast to the somewhat cagier proceedings we saw, understandably, obviously, in the first leg. You can't necessarily win a tie in the first leg, but you can lose it. This is Barcham. Here's Lewis. Fuller will in the end couldn't make anything of the situation. Well, the playoff action just continues coming, doesn't it? Sheffield United against Preston tomorrow night from 7:30 on Sky Sports 1 HD1. Even Stephen there in the first leg. And then on Tuesday night the championship action continues as Reading hope to turn round that deficit against Burnley at the Madejski. Tuesday 7:30, same channel, Sky Sports 1 at HD1. This is Rundle on for Gary Jones. And, well, on this heavily watered pitch, Gary Jones losing his footing. Here's Weston. And Gillingham can spring so quickly, but the two centre-backs should be in charge of that situation.
Well, that's where he wants it. It was a decent ball from Weston, just down the side of the central defenders. Doesn't really want it up to his feet as such, because they're just coming around the front of him, nicking it, bullying him sometimes, but every time they look at like putting it down the side or in behind him, those central defenders, he looks a different player and he's going to give them problems.
Stanton rising to that. Nutter steps in. Is Wright. Slick and young player Josh Wright, who's quite a few rave notices. It's become a little bit of a hot potato in the last few seconds. Forward by Kennedy. Richards winning it this time. Joe Thompson. Ramsden there to help him. Didn't need it. Lewis showed a little bit too much of that to Gary Jones. Weston swiftly in to win it back. Right.
They were lacking a target there, Dan. That's why the midfield players got caught on the ball. There's only the one target. Sometimes I think with the wider players, Ollie and this side, just have to tuck in a little bit. You know, just make up another target. Barchin and Ollie, just come in off the lines and make up another target short of the striker. Then they can play forward. You don't want to be playing sideways and backwards on a pitch like this and going to give away possession, because you can see how lively the ball is. It's just popping up all the time. So if you go sideways, backwards, you just put the next man under pressure. Just give them a target further forward. And don't be always wide, those wide men. Just come in off the lines and make up a target.
18 points from losing positions in the regular league season for Keith Hill's Rochdale. One thing they do have in abundance is resilience and strength of character as well. So that's two things, isn't it?
There's a classic.
It's kind of the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Here's John Nutter. Forward by Ramsden. Hefty belt. Began at Sunderland, Simon Ramsden. One of those league and championship clubs. Fuller began at Charlton. Here's Kieran Toner, who started life at Tottenham. Kennedy. McArdle struck Lewis, and it might fall kindly for Barcham here. Stanton steps in to help his mate out. Right. Well, 1-0 to Gillingham. It does have a familiar ring. They've won 4 of the last 5 victories by that scoreline. More full-blooded challenges. Simon Ramsden strolling away from the scene, but Michael Oliver will have a word.
Yeah, just a chance to let me know you're a wide player, that you're about. When you get a chance, have it.
Some words of wisdom from young Michael Oliver, for whom refereeing runs in the family, of course, his dad Clive. His dad Clive was at Millwall yesterday. Here's Stuart Lewis. Weston got the better of Gary Jones. Oh, it's Barcham who might be in, but safely through to fielding in the end.
Barcham tucking in off the line there, and I think there's a second striker this time, and he could get in. That's the difference. There you see Ramsden was out wide, not marking him. If he just come in now and again, it gives them another problem, the fullbacks.
Playoffs, and Gillingham were involved way back in 1987 in the playoffs. The first season they haven't done anything other than win a game at home. Barcham showing his talent once more. He's got Jackson up in support. He went for it himself, and Rory McArdle with a block.
Oh, well, it was a great bit of skill and a great run, and in the end he's trying to, well, telegraph it slightly by opening up his body far too early. He wants to curl it. He doesn't want to do anything else. Look, he's telling the defender, I want to curl it, I want to curl it. There we go. And in the end, it's defended well, because he stays up to the last moment.
Fielding through traffic again, and Barcham caught a little by surprise.
It was Bartram in the first leg with his changes of pace and running at people that made a difference. It was a fantastic run. This is after that, just a lobbed-in cross. Fielding for once doesn't get there. His punching's been excellent in the 2 games so far.
Yeah, very rare slip for that from Fielding. Jackson into Ollie. Use Josh Wright. Stanton with some robust play, but it finds Ollie. Oh, an interesting head of that from Ramsden. Well, even Stephen in that respect, but the more important statistic in the top left-hand corner. But ebb and flow about it. Rochdale have certainly had their moments.
Yeah, but in the 2 games, we haven't had that many chances created, really, Dan. There ain't any real clear misses that we've seen or super saves. It really is close between the 2 sides.
Nicked off the head of McCardle. Safely through. Down the throat of Simon King, it's Thorpe who wins it. Thompson, it might fall kindly for him. It's Dagnall, shooting chance! Rochdale on terms, it's Chris Dagnall who finds the net and gets Keith Hill's team right back into it.
Oh, and doesn't he take it well, Dan? He has that little bit of composure, and that's the difference in that last third. We haven't seen a lot of it in the 2 games. Thompson does well this time, comes in off the line. Fuller comes round on the cover, just slams the clearance against him, bounces down nicely, but he comes inside Nutter with that lovely little bit of composure. Look, shapes the shoot, cuts inside, and it's a cracking finish. 1-1. And that's about right on the game so far. A little bit fortunate, the bounce down there, but that little bit of composure makes it. That's a good finish from Dagnall. And look at that. He's beat Nutter, and there's another Nutter on the line. Look at him, look, Keith. Loves it.
Well, it really is vindication for his team selection. It was a somewhat bold move to leave out your top scorer in Adam Lafondra, even though he's not been firing lately. And the man who's replaced him has come up with the goods. Here's Thompson. It may get better yet for Rochdale.
Well, that one, to be fair to him, just sat up off the surface. Good finish, though. It's about right, we have to be honest. It was slightly against the run of play when Gillingham went ahead. It's been a really close game between the 2 of them, but lovely little bit of composure. That's what it's all about. He's been putting himself about Dagnall up front, I thought. But he showed there that he's got a bit of composure as well.
It was the word we were using that wasn't there on Thursday night. And he has certainly provided it. Oh, Richards with a slightly wild slice there. Rundle. Jones. Kennedy. Jackson might be away, but it's McCardle who wins the header. Important one, that. Turner and Weston in a good competitive duel there. No shortage of those this evening. Well, King into Dagnall.
Another clearance, charge down. One from Fuller calls the goal, and this one doesn't bounce so kindly. Richards with a misheader. King on to Dagnall, and lucky for him, through to Royce.
Thorpe to win it. Thompson.
I found it easier to get into their strikers simply because they got 2 of them, I think, Rochdale, so there's a couple of targets to hit on what's a very difficult pitch for me. Gillingham are struggling to get it down in that middle of midfield where they've got that spare man, but the 2 men in there for Rochdale are really working hard. Gary Jones and Kieran Toner closing down at every opportunity, and when the ball goes forward, there's more likelihood of it sticking because you've got 2 targets up there.
An early lead somewhat against the run of play for Mark Stimpson's team, but it is a exact replica at the moment of the scoreline in the regular league match here at Priestfield. They have been tight encounters. There's a long, long way to go yet. I mentioned their resilience and strength of character, those 2 things that they have, and they've shown it.
Yeah, good comeback, and that's what it's all about. They've been very impressed with their attitude. It's as we thought, it's a tight game, a real tight game, and a little bits of composure that we've seen. At one end, we've seen Barchin on the ball, running with it, and at the other end, Dagnall pressurising people, and that little bit of composure in front of goal sure does pay dividends.
Toner. Thorpe again putting himself about, renewing that battle with Richards. He also had a bit of a scrap with Barry Fuller as well. A few interesting aerial jousts. Gary Jones trying to battle as well, but it's Curtis Weston who wins, and he was being hassled illegally. Richards. Josh Wright. Being hassled again, but they've managed to find their way through, or around. Well, it's dangerous ball again by Fuller, and normal service resumed for Frank Fielding, kept hold of that one.
They get away with it in the end down this line, and Fuller gets a decent cross in. And Fielding comes right out again, and generally been in command in the 2 games. Unlikely looking keeper, but he's a good one.
Oh, and Weston has been found here. Can he get away from Toner? Well, in the end, Shackle Stanton got back to help out as well. And Curtis Weston's trademark, really, those surges from midfield. It's kept the pressure on for Gillingham as we close in on the interval. Lewis. Wright. Through the legs of Nutter there by Dagnall. Rundle. Space for Kennedy to attack. In towards Thorpe. Typically a robust battle. Richards winning it. Rundle. Dagnall. This time Nutter was alive. And Jackson willing to chase down any cause, lost or otherwise.
They're finding it hard to get out at times because, you know, it's up against 2 big centre-backs, this Jackson. You know, it's very difficult. Mercado and Stanton, anything bouncing up off the lively surface, they're favourites in the air. They're finding it hard to get out. They've got to pass it between the 3 of them in midfield, and I keep saying the bubbly surface is not really endearing itself to that. I think you've got to try and get it into your strikers when you can, and when you've only got 1 up there, it's a little bit more difficult.
There is the one, Jackson. Right. Fuller.
Well, what the Gills will like, though, Dan, is the second half attacking their home fans. They've got that mass support behind the goal.
Yeah,
it should lift them a bit.
Lorena Mendes sucked 1 or 2 balls into the net down the years. Fielding's clearing kick falling for Ollie. Gary Jones. Dagnall very willing indeed. Well, just 1 more minute to get through before the interval to regroup. Gillingham having struck someone against the run of things, but Rochdale able to respond. Oh, and teed up almost for Dagnall. Might break for him again. Weston there. Now Ramsden. Dagnall can get away from Simon King. That's typical of him, the Gillingham centre-back.
Well, territorially, they've had the best of it as well, haven't they, Rochdale? And again, just because of the fact that those strikers can get onto sort of not the best of passes and still make it difficult for defenders and pin them in there.
There is the option of McCammon. So perhaps allow the ball to stick a little bit better up there. But Gillingham ending the half at least in the ascendancy here. Into time on top of the added time now. This is King. A break for Weston, but that is the half-time whistle. 3/4 of the way through this playoff tie. Simeon Jackson giving Gillingham the lead in slightly controversial circumstances. Dennis Ollie with on the hint of handball in the build-up. But Rochdale, who were territorially dominant for the most part, hit back thanks to Chris Dagnall, vindicating Keith Hill, putting him in favour of top scorer Adam Lafondra. And at the half-time interval, it's Gillingham 1, Rochdale 1.
We're ready to go then in the second half with Tony Gale and Daniel Mann.
Thanks very much indeed, David. Welcome back to Priestfield. We've seen kinetic Keith Hill on the sidelines in response to Rochdale's equaliser, which has given a scoreline that is more reflective of what we've seen really in the first 45 minutes so far. Rochdale having plenty of the territory and finally taking a chance through Chris Dagnall. And who is going to emerge the victor and take on Shrewsbury Town at Wembley in 13 days' time? Gillingham attacking their favourite Raynham end and attacking it with some pace here from Curtis Weston. But he's held up. Lee Thorpe. Momentum still here with Rochdale.
King took a knock there with the little challenge with Thorpe. He had him just facing. I think he got a flick out from the arm that just caught him in the face.
It's not the sort of battle you expect to emerge unscathed from, is it?
I think most of the challenges from the lads up front and the boys defending have been pretty honest, Dan. They've been good battles.
Just a good old honest physical contest. Renewed there, Thorpe and Dagnall loitering.
He doesn't give up, does he? He's a real pain in the backside. He just chases everything down, and saw in the first half putting defenders under pressure and just managing to get a toe to that one. Didn't trouble the keeper Royce much, but he runs everything down to the end.
Right, wanting an option, has to go back the way. Nutter. And Simeon Jackson. Tussling there with Stanton, and Stanton will get the decision. trial at Manchester United a little earlier in his career, Simeon Jackson, where he worked alongside the likes of Kieran Richardson and Chris Eagles, and he's learned an enormous amount, as you would expect, but sees that as the benchmark where he wants to be eventually. Maybe one or two Premier League clubs thinking about giving him a chance. He was strongly linked with Villa after scoring that goal against them in the FA Cup earlier this season. Towards Thorpe again, it's Dennis Ollie who rose this time. Support stung a little by the Rochdale equaliser, beginning to find their voice once more. Forward by Ramsden, into Dagnall, and now Thorpe.
Oh, a nice little bit of movement, and that's because you've got two strikers in there, so one can play off the other. And that's why they've had a lot of territorial advantage. Just able to go into the strikers, and there you can see Thorpe just try to cross it with his right foot, hit it onto his left, but at least there was the link up between the two.
Mark Stimpson might look at that if it doesn't start to go his way a little.
Well, he may think about changing it, but nothing as yet, still sticking with his 4-3-3.
This is Gary Jones. Kieran Toner. Rundle. Dagnall. Forces his way through. This is Rundle, who can hit him with either foot. Tom Kennedy to mop up. Rochdale keeping Gillingham penned in again. Dagnall. This time forced out of things by Gary Richards.
Yeah, but there again was able to drop it in, just trying to suck the midfield out, and they go back in, drop the ball into the strikers, and there's a little bit more room in the pocket to drop it in there.
The game very much being played in Gillingham territory at the moment. Into Thorpe. Behind by Wright, who felt he was pushed a little by Thorpe.
Well, Thorpe again jumping with two defenders and not winning the day, but putting enough pressure on the defenders to make sure they get a corner.
It's a meaty clearing header by Andy Barcham, but it's not away yet. Rundle and Thorpe's header. Not beyond the routine for Royce.
I think he's trying to knock that one down, just trying to head it down because he's coming back on himself. As the ball come back in, you can see here, he's just coming back on himself, so he's trying to knock it down. Just doesn't take enough pace off of it.
Proving an ample distraction for the Gillingham centre-backs. Rochdale never won an away game in the playoffs. They only had the two. Lost at Darlington, but turned it around at home turf last season. 2-2 draw at Rushden 7 years ago under John Hollins. Their first taste of this end-of-season drama. Certainly asking the more searching questions.
Can't get out, can they? Gillingham can't get out. Every time they clear it, there's the one up there to try and hold the ball up again, so they can't really get out of their own half at the moment.
That's one aspect where Rochdale certainly improved in the second half at home. Up to Wester, a little touch for Barcham, who's a real live wire for Gillingham, and he showed it again here. And in the end, he'll get the free kick, will he?
Yeah, that's good refereeing because he's pulled it back. There's a little drag back, you can see. Again, dangerous when he gets facing up the defenders, Barcham. Not the easiest of pitches to run them gone with the ball, but there he had a little foul on him, so they pulled it back.
Six in and around the box for Gillingham. That's over every head in blue and into Frank Fielding's grasp again.
It's a poor delivery. Really gave the strikers no chance to get at the ball, and that was a great position. And just right. It's a poor delivery.
Given the way Rochdale have started this second half, it was at least a bit of respite, but a situation that the home side could have made an awful lot more of. Might make something of this, though. Possession gifted to Barcham, and now Weston. Jackson. Right. Oh, Barcham. Lovely bit of play again. Ollie. They get a free kick in a promising position. Can they make the most of it this time?
Well, that was better, because Barcham came in off the flank, sat himself in the pocket, got the ball into him, and eventually out wide to Ollie, and there's the foul from Kennedy. Tight will go for it, but as soon as he got the toe to it, he was never gonna get there. Just waiting for him to get up, and probably, well, I say probably, he hasn't done it yet. Is he going to let him off? I think so. Might be just a warning, and that's consistent with what he's been doing all afternoon, so that's fine.
Yep. Opted to use the lecture rather than going straight to the pocket.
The foul being given on this right-hand side. Kennedy's hurt himself in the process. You can see, look, as soon as Ollie over-touches it, he thinks he can get it, and once he can't, clatters into him now. Referee has been letting them off, giving them the benefit of the doubt, and that's fine, because that's been consistent. But the delivery now, Dan, has to be better. Has to be flat, missing that first man, ready to attack.
And Nutter's left foot is usually reliable. There's one by Thompson. Away by Gary Jones, and it's Gillingham's turn to exert a bit of pressure in the early stages of this second half. And Rochdale really asserting themselves at the start of the period. That's McCardle's header. This is Thompson. Ollie's flick. And Jackson there. Back safely by Gary Richards. Simon Royce, plenty of Premier League experience under his belt. Charlton and Leicester days. Also had a spell at Manchester City, actually, where he didn't play a game. Is right. John Nutter again. Into Dennis Ollie. Up against Stanton. Into Barcham. Oh, lovely layoff. Nutter is in here. Down he goes. It is a penalty.
Well, he thought about it. The referee had a long think about it. McCardle looked guilty. The referee had a long think. Am I or am I not going to give it? As he burst into the area. It's a great third man run there. Pop, he's on his way, Nutter's on his way, gets there first, McCardle comes over, he catches him, I'm afraid. He catches him. As soon as he gets there first, you can see he's trying to jump out the way, but I think he catches him. And the referee is just waiting and waiting and waiting, gives himself a little bit of thinking time, and then goes penalty. As soon as he gets in that area at top speed, and he misses the ball, Dan, oh, very difficult.
No rush to judgment from the referee. Yellow card. And, well, Simeon Jackson not giving anybody else a look in here. Picture of concentration. Never a doubt. Simeon Jackson restores Gillingham's lead. And they're just over half an hour away from Wembley.
Well, he looked like he was going into a trance, didn't he, waiting to take it. That's what you call concentration and focus. Never really looked in doubt. Nice bit of power in it as well. Nice little whip on it, look at that. Whips it into the back of the net. 2-1 up. I think that was their best bit of football of the afternoon, Gillingham. That's what they've been looking for within the system. Runners getting beyond the striker, and then you get in that area and then the penalty comes and it's converted brilliantly.
Well, Rochdale have to do it all again. They've come back once. Can they come back again? If they don't, it'll be Gillingham will be joining Paul Simpson Shrewsbury Town at Wembley. And it's been a day when Simeon Jackson has lived up to the billing. His involvement has been relatively fleeting. But the opportunities he's had, he has taken full advantage of.
It's the first time they started floating across the front three. Barcham and Ollie coming across Jackson. And Ollie going over the other side and setting the play up. I think that's when it becomes difficult to mark the three up front. I thought they were too rigid in their positions in the first half. First bit of movement and it caught Rochdale out.
Celebratory mood on the sidelines, but there is a fair old way to go yet. And Rochdale, having shown the gumption to battle back, not about to roll over here. Well, we said that they may buck up their ideas a little and have a bit more zest and energy about their play, attacking the rain amend as they prefer to do in the second half of matches. Haven't quite panned out exactly like that in the first quarter hour of this half, but they do have the advantage again. Oh, Nutter could go anywhere. Fuller safely back.
Oh, big slice in the air. Heavy topspin on the header back to the keeper. The keeper slips. Whoa, the old drama of the playoffs, Dan.
Well, there was an element of heart in mouth about that. But here's Ollie. Down he goes under the challenge from Kennedy, who got a stern lecture a moment ago. Now he'll get a card.
Well, that's good refereeing. He's just said, I've let you off once over there. You've done it again, so I'm going to give you a yellow card. Good refereeing in my eyes. And Ollie and Barcham just coming in off the flanks now, and the more movement they're doing, the more movement gives Rochdale problems, and it did for the goal as well. Hard to deal with the three up front when the movement comes across all the time. Easier to mark when they stay wide.
Rogers ball in. Well, Gary Richards went for it. And was a whisker away from sealing it once and for all, perhaps.
And it was nearly all over. Lovely whip on the cross from Nutter. Gets his head there, Richards, and comes off the top of the bar and over. And watch all the fans behind the goal jump up as it hits it.
Well, how swiftly it can turn, because Rochdale came out at the start of this second half as the dominant force to try and work their way level. Will Buckley is now on the field, out on that right-hand side. Joe Thompson departing. Well, straight swap, really. It was Buckley who started the first leg in that position and didn't have the joy he hoped for.
One youngster for another.
In half an hour, it might feel like 3 or 4 hours for Mark Stimson, unless they can get a little bit of breathing space. Momentum seems to be with them at the moment. But here's Buckley. Is it time for the young star to shine for Rochdale? Thorpe's flick.
Well, he's got to lift them again, the manager, Keefield, down on the line. They've done him proud in the first half. They went behind, they didn't get their heads down, they got back in the game. And again, at a time when they were probably looking best, they got hurt. And Mark Stimson was his assistant. Mark Robson there on the line, he played with me at West Ham. That was a good bit of football for that goal. Nice bit of football, and they'll be well pleased with that.
Lewis trying to hook it away. Josh Wright seeking out Andy Barcham. Well, it is a record that they are understandably proud of in the playoffs at home. 4 matches here at Priestfield before tonight. They've won them all, Gillingham, including the first leg of a final way back in 1987. They did eventually lose, though. They're in a winning position once more. Barcham and now Weston seeking to add to it.
Better movement again from Ollie coming infield. Drag Kennedy in as well, and that meant the fullback can get down the outside. A lot better movement.
Here's Ollie. Now Lewis round the back. Simeon Jackson hunting a hat-trick, but he was well marshalled there. Real injection of belief once again for Gillingham, having to battle back from a setback of their own, having conceded that equaliser. It's Richards. Ollie Rose. Gary Jones looking to get there. Here's Nutter. The man felled for the spot kick. I've seen him get forward too often tonight, up to that moment. Fuller was beaten by Rundle. Former Newcastle youngster. He's well capable of providing the spark, as he's showing here, but it's Fuller across.
A good tackle in the end, but he did well, Rundle. He wasn't panicked into just flipping it into the channel. Ran with the ball, kept it. Forced the throw in further down the park.
Gary Jones trying to take it on. Right was well placed. And that one endangering us on the gantry.
He's tried to curve that round the stand and back again there, Ollie.
This is Simon Ramsden. Who's going to be the leader to inspire Rochdale? And Gary Jones with a challenge which will be punished, and his reaction maybe earns a booking.
Well, Ollie has just got slightly in advance of him, and then again the referee's right up the big play. He's right there, the referee, you can see it. It's blatant, and you know it's going to be a yellow card for Gary Jones.
Well, mounting up now, that's the 3rd Rochdale player to be cautioned in this second half.
Referee's had a good game, Dan, I think. He's had a good game, and must admit, looks very fit. He's well up with the play all the time. Like some of the lumps we see around.
He does have a rather youthful spring in his step compared to some. He is the youngest around.
Well, I hope we don't put the curse on him. This evening he's had a good game.
As mentioned before, refereeing running in the family. His dad Clive officiating Millwall Leeds yesterday. Here's Dennis Ollie, and now Barcham. It's Lewis coming in, but it's headed behind by Tom Kennedy.
Better movement again. Just starting to get their movement going for the first time in the game. The goal sparked them, really. Look, 3 or 4 players all around each other, some good short passing, tries to stand it up. Kennedy's aware about it.
You've got to make this, which is a very good spell for Gillingham, count. Was met meaterly by Thorpe. And Rochdale plotting changes. Here's Will Buckley. Battle on with Fuller, and Fuller kept up with the exciting young talent of Will Buckley. Might drop kindly here for Gary Jones.
Well left by Royce. Well, there's the penalty again, but it's a result of some good football when McArdle fouls. But there's some good football, and Ollie drifts from one flank to the other. Lovely little ball in here. Barcham, he sets up Nutter, who makes a third man run, and then in comes the lunge. And as soon as he lunges, well, you know what's going to happen. Some good play, though. Look at that. It's lovely play. And then in comes the lunge, and I think he just catches his foot. Shame, because McArdle's had a good game.
Well, he's going to get some involvement now. Rochdale's top scorer, Adam Rundle, departing. Adam Lafondra on, having been left out of the starting lineup. He has often made an impact as a substitute. And there's also an introduction for John Shaw. Lee Thorpe departing. So, well, he has to be brave and bold, Keith Hill, and that is exactly what he has been with those changes. Ollie rising, Simeon Jackson seems to have strayed offside, so Ollie's trying to pick up his own header on.
Well, much better game than the first leg, Dan, I must say. Been a good advert for the division as well. Committed, competitive, and a little bit of sprinkling of skill about it as well. When the boys have showed their composure, they show they can play.
The anxiety, which was so evident at Scotland, just doesn't seem to have been there tonight. It has been a real one-off cup tie. Well, Shaw was arriving. Gary Jones robbed by Curtis Weston, who kept it in play as well. And Richards getting in front of Lafondra. Here's McArdle, the man who conceded the penalty, which divides the two sides. John Shaw looking to get in there. Simon King, coolness and calm, and finds Barcham. Weston wants it. Well, they all want it at the moment. Up to Dennis Ollie. Lewis could still make something of this. Fuller. That's McArdle's header. Dagnall. Kieran Toner. Well, will these changes make the difference for Rochdale? Certainly plenty of attacking ammunition out there now. And, well, a change for Gillingham, and its experience in the shape of 31-year-old Mark Bentley replacing the youthful Josh Wright, only 19. He knows his way around the playoffs, Mark Bentley. One promotion through them with Southend.
He likes to put his foot in, Dan. He's good in the air, very competitive midfield player, very experienced, as you said. Just needs to lead them now, just through this final 20 minutes or so.
Actually played centre-back up at Scotland on the final day of the regular season. He has filled that role as well reasonably regularly. And Fielding out of his comfort zone there. This is Gary Jones. And Rochdale need people like him to provide the inspiration. Here is Jones again. A record appearance maker for Rochdale. Wants to be making another one at Wembley, and all is not quite lost yet. Simon King under it. It'll fall for Jones. Here's Weston. Jackson Stanton will be penalised for that.
Yeah, he just came through the back there, and I think that'll be another yellow card. Just trying to stop the silly tackles now as we get to the crucial stage. So he just catches him on the ankle. Has a nibble, and as soon as he touches it away, same old problem. You're going to get the yellow card. They've lost the option now of chipping it up to Thorpe. They've got the two smaller ones up front now. I thought Thorpe was a little bit of a handful, I must admit.
It's certainly an interesting one. He's certainly got as many attacking players out there as he could possibly have, really. John Shaw usually utilised as a front man out on that right-hand side at the moment. Well, Jackson, the man who is going to hog the headlines if it stays as it is. Which has certainly been the case for Gillingham this season, now up to that 20 mark with his 2 goals tonight. And by far the most important he's scored this season. Lafondra giving chase. Richards had to find a little extra spring in his step for a moment there. And there's a problem for King, and that is one man that they will not want to see in pain.
Well, Shaw came right across him. He's under the flight of the ball. Shaw's coming across. And there he gets clattered, you can see. Gets the clatter in there and lands awkwardly as well. So there's one bang here in mid-air, and then there, compound it with another one. Biff Bosch. And it's a shocker, that, Dan. When you're the centre-back and you're under the flight of the ball and someone's coming across you, you're just watching the ball, and they know they can get the ball and they can get you as well. They're horrible, those strikers, I must admit. I think he'll be all right, though, look.
Well, it'll take something to knock him out of contention. He has really been the rock in which their season has been built on in many ways. Part of the League Two PFA Team of the Year, so his fellow professionals also full of admiration for what he's produced this season, along with that man, Tom Kennedy, who was the Defender of the Year. John Shaw will look to fight for it. Getting straight back into proceedings and straight doing what he does best. Jones trying to cause confusion. Bentley back there. Toner nips in. Kennedy. Well, Rochdale fighting hard to keep their Wembley dreams alive. Dagnall trying to slip it through, but Weston in the way. Barcham held up this time. Can get away from Dagnall. He just bulldozes his way through, and Rochdale, almost by sheer force of will, have won a corner.
He just chases everything down, doesn't he, Dagnall? I mean, he's lost the ball in the first place, chases back 20 yards, Barcham wins it back and sets it up on the far side and gains a corner. Just doesn't give you a moment's rest.
Towards Dagnall. Headed back in there by Jones. Ramsden away by Barcham, up to Jackson. Barcham always wants the ball, and they won't be happy with him running at them.
Well, it's just a confusion between the two of them there, Barcham and Ali. He should have made a better run than that. He either takes him away, pulls away, or goes across him earlier. I think Barcham no real chance to slip in either ball there, because that was a good chance for a break.
Well, this is Lewis. Well, Rochdale fighting against history. This is the 4th time that Gillingham have competed in the playoffs. They've reached the final on every previous occasion. Yeah, just about quarter of an hour away from Wembley once more. Fondra down. Up towards Simeon Jackson. Oh, and, well, Fondra more than willing to cause a problem. Fly in the ointment there. Royce able to produce the evasive action that was needed. This is Dennis Ollie. Buckley. Caught by Lewis.
Well, Bentley's just sitting deep now, just in front of his central defenders, giving them a little bit of aerial protection as well. Not as tidy on the ball as young Josh Wright, but he'll give them more defensive reliability there.
Dagnall just will not let it lie. Ollie. Not particularly subtle, but Simeon Jackson going to chase it down, but Ramsden was always in control there. Well, it has to be more urgent from Rochdale now. Shaw got a piece on it. Lafondra. And behind by Nutter.
We're going to have a stir in the last 12 minutes or so, aren't we, Dan? The pressure's just starting to build. Naturally, the Gills are just sitting a little bit back because they've gone in front and trying to nick it away on the break, but the more you sit back, the more you invite it on.
Right into the mix, and Royce was nowhere the first time, but was there the second, to his relief.
Dear. He has a little smile at that one. He's punching fresh air there. He comes out the first one, look, completely miss. Oh, just pops up, and thanks very much. How grateful was he there, look. Just comes up off the back of one of the players and pops up in his arms.
Down the throats again. Simon King there. And he'll fall kindly this for Ollie. Well, Bartram looking to make a move, but he'll use Weston. Nathan Stanton, no quarter ass there.
Well, they're going to get these opportunities, and if they want to kill it off, they've got to have that final ball. Obviously, they're playing on the break now, so chances there to kill it off, but you've got to have that little bit of quality to pick out the final ball on the break.
And those chances are going to keep coming, you would imagine. As Rochdale asks the searching questions, Nutter just hoping to see that one through. The clock's ticking a little faster than he would like, I would imagine, Keith Hill.
I bet his heart's beating a bit faster as well, Dan.
Well, the minutes will seem more like seconds to him as the time disappears. But they've done it once, so they can do it again.
Well, even if they turn out losers here, he can be proud of his team. Both managers can.
Frank Fielding ahead of the game. Safely through to his opposite number. Well, he's not been hugely busy in this second half since Gillingham restored the lead, Simon Royce. Kennedy. Towards Lafondra, felt he was wrestled to the ground, perhaps not the strongest of appeals. Buckley. It's Dagnall. Door shot by Lewis. Dennis Ollie again. Can he get the better of Kennedy? Well, Kennedy just standing up. Out by Richards.
There you see, claiming the penalty, there's King. There's nothing a lot in that to me. They just both wrestling for position.
Gary Jones hits it. Blocked by Bentley. Weston in there. This is Bentley again. It's going to come straight back.
You just need a little bit of composure as well when you're defending. You just need to put it in the areas down the sides for the strikers to run the balls down in the corner. Instead of just hitting it straight back down the middle, it's going to come back down your throat.
John Shaw. The clock ticking down on Rochdale's promotion ambitions. McArdle. Need to find that inroad. This is Toner. Shaw. Into Dagnall. He won't give it up. And it evades everybody in the end.
Well, they're playing a game that's fraught with danger. The deeper they drop Gillingham, the more they're inviting it on. The pressure of Rochdale, and it's just one little nice ball down the side there, and they're in trouble.
Well, plenty more playoff action to come. Thursday night Leeds against Millwall. Millwall 1 up from the first leg. Sky Sports 1, HD 1. And it's all level between MK Dons and Scunthorpe. That's the Friday night action. Same channel from 7:30. Here's Nutter. Being closed down again by Dagnall. And Simeon Jackson with a lone chase here. It looks like Nicky Southall is getting himself ready for Gillingham. Vast experience, of course, all 4 divisions of the league. And Dennis Ollie is the man who departs.
He had a hand in that second goal, just drifting over to the other side and setting up the ball for Barcham, who put Nutter in return. Just coming off now, and the experienced boys starting to come on. Nicky Saville and Mark Bentley. Just the experienced boys needed just to run this clock down, keep possession of the ball, put it in the corners where they need to, and not get stuck too deep.
Well, they've got some young lads out there, haven't they? Jackson, Barcham, Weston, Lewis, Gary Richards as well. Here's one of the youngsters, Barcham, looking to make something happen. Well, he is really worrisome for defenders, Andy Barcham.
Been their most dangerous player over the 2 legs by far. Set up that first goal. As soon as he starts running, he's got one thing in mind, taking people on, and that's good to see at whatever level. There's a shortage of players who can run at people nowadays, and he's one who loves to do it.
He's good enough as a youngster to get in the Tottenham side for a Carling Cup tie. Southall's first involvement. Fielding comes. Where will it drop? Barcham trying to improvise to get something on the end of it. Oh, but Fuller has won it back. Barcham. This is exactly where Rochdale don't need it. There's real hunger to try and close them down. King went in strongly again. This is Buckley.
Got some smashing challenges going in. It's a bit of a throwback, this game, Dan. I must admit, you find yourself heading and kicking every ball with them. I mean, it's lovely to see. They're slinging everything in, the boys, both teams. And for the most part of it, it's all honest challenges as well. It's terrific to see.
Well, it's just fantastic full commitment, isn't it, from both sides, with so much at stake here. And it is really getting to that desperate time for Rochdale now. And unfortunately for them, it's Gillingham who have possession, and they're not going to be in any mood to get on with it swiftly.
Down in the corners, that's the order of the evening now. Get it down there and run that clock down.
Southall. Away by McArdle.
Oh, I'm surprised he crossed that one, Nicky Southall. I thought he could have run it down in the corner. Just keep that ball down there. The throw-ins, Fuller now. Just throw it down there, keep it in the corner. And it's up to Rochdale to get it back as quick as possible and get it up the other end. Try and create another chance.
I don't want a bit of naivety to cost them, throwing that ball in there and then Rochdale break on them. It has happened. Again, King absolutely hurling himself at that.
King and Shaw again, great challenges.
Well, it's a bit of a cliche to call him a colossus, but it wouldn't be far short. A real good old scrap there.
Look at the referee, he's right on top of it. I've been really impressed with this referee this evening. I think he's great. He's right there on top of it all the time.
Lafondra looking to turn it on for John Shaw. And here's Weston. And Nicky Southall bursting. And Simeon Jackson. The flag has stayed down. Well, he could have gone in for the hat-trick, but straight to the corner instead. I think, and he made a mess of it. The manager's words at the end might have been ringing in the ears, and if it had been costly.
I don't think he wanted to have a go at it with his left foot. If he was on the right side, I think he'd have had a pop at that one.
Well, a bit of unnecessary discussion there from Simeon Jackson, the man who looks increasingly likely to prove the match winner here. Well, they're breaking into a victory chorus. It may be a little premature. Buckley swung in there. They're queuing up, and it was Rory McArdle who threw himself at it.
It was unlucky, that, wasn't it? I mean, they still wanted to build up with a short free kick, set it up again. Lovely ball in from Kennedy. McArdle just is put off at the last moment. And really, that would have redeemed himself for giving away that pen. I felt really sorry for him. He's played well over the two legs. I think both teams, every single player on the pitch, competitive, and I really love it. They're honestly the way they played, Dan. I've really been impressed with both teams.
Well, it has been a terrific contest, hasn't it? Between the two sides who finished 5th and 6th respectively in League Two. Had ambitions at one stage, both of them. Automatic promotion. In the playoff semi-final, only one team can make their way through to Wembley. And Gillingham are in sight. Might fall for Gary Jones. He's robbed. Anywhere will do for Mark Bentley. In fact, he's cleared the roof of the stand on the far side.
There's no chance of a quick throw-in from there, is there? 4 minutes. 4 minutes of some bruising challenges, some real physical stuff. Every header been competed for. Throw-ins, corners, free kicks, tackles in the middle of the park. There's 4 minutes more of it as well.
It still may not be over. It's Chris Dagnall is ever fighting for it. Does he ever give up? Here's Kennedy. Foul by Southall. One or two groans went up when they saw the 4 minutes, but there is still a Rochdale storm to weather here. It's Kennedy who delivers. Bentley behind.
They've got the free kick away, but it's more dangerous from the corner. This one will be whipped in. Up comes the keeper as well, just to join in. He's won every ball up the other end on the two legs. I wonder if he can win one here, Dan.
Oh, the keeper's up. With the other keeper, Simon Royce, holding on to that emphatically.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's the spare man at the back. He's floated around the back, look. Come round the back unmarked. Where was you? You've got to get in amongst those keepers. You've got to give the keeper a dig. Just sat off a bit there, a little bit, Fielding.
Simeon Jackson in an offside position. So it's going to come straight back. And it looks like the camera might come on to give them a bit more of a presence for it to stick up there. In what remains of this exciting, rumbustious battle. It's John Shaw. Might sit for Lafondra. Bentley made sure it didn't. Here's Weston. Up to Jackson. Lewis. And Jackson. Stanton's winning the race.
Well, Weston was through. If Jackson misses that, Weston's through on goal.
Well, these are agonising moments for just about everybody inside Priestfield. And that one's safely behind.
Well, 92 and 30 gone. A substitution to come. Taking their time with the goal kick. I'm sure the keeper, Simon Royce.
Well, a chance for Simeon Jackson to soak up a huge ovation here at Priestfield, because it's his 2 goals that have put Gillingham in sight of the playoff final.
That was great. Did you see that, Dan? It was Stanton went up to him. They've had a great physical battle over the 2 legs, shook his hand and said, well done. I think that's just typified the 2 legs between the 2 sides. Super competitive, very honest.
Yeah, great spirit this contest has been played in. Oh, well, it is an emotional business, and that's what his contribution has meant to Gillingham tonight. Oh, and Bentley's in a bit of trouble. It's Lafondra. Here's Buckley. Can he get a shot away? Well, Dagnall was following up. He couldn't quite get there in the end. And maybe that's last chance.
He struck it too well for anyone to get on the end of it on the far side. Just has a little bit of a snatch of it. Never really looks like hitting the target, but the boys running in on the far side are opening for the miss it, because they can run it in. Pops up on the volley, and he slices it wide. And look at that for Priestfield. Oh.
Well, that may be the moment when the dream dies, but who knows? It's John Shaw who's in there. Where will it drop? One glance at the watch from the referee. This is McCammon. Well, he's not going to be in a hurry to go anywhere else.
Well, this is just a little bit of time for the substitution, I think, that was done in time added on.
Gillingham are on the Wembley way. Mark Stimson has guided his side to the playoff final after a terrific contest here tonight. They went in front somewhat against the run of play. Rochdale fought back and fought all the way through. But they conceded a penalty in the second half, which Simeon Jackson dispatched. And it is Bedlam at Priestfield now. Well, they've got a chance of bouncing back at the first time of asking, having suffered the pain of relegation last season. The agony then, but the ecstasy of promotion through the playoffs. A real possibility now, as they face Shrewsbury Town in 13 days' time. Well, Mark Stimson, his first full season in charge, and it could be a hugely memorable one. Well, wonderful scenes. And, well, both teams emerged with terrific credit from the night. It was a scrap right to the finish. Rochdale coming close to snatching an equaliser, which would have silenced this crowd just before the end. But raucous scenes of celebration. And, well, Gillingham on their way to the League Two playoff final. They always make the final when they go through this end-of-season drama. They are on their way. Let's get the reaction from the Gillingham manager, Mark Stimson. He's with Johnny Phillips.
Mark, what's your overriding emotion now?
Obviously, I'm happy, very happy for Simeon Jackson, who's been absolutely outstanding all season for us. And at the end of the day, when you need that little bit of quality, that's what the boys got. You know, it didn't cost us a lot of money, £150,000. It was great money spent, and yeah, he's come from non-league, but he'll be a player. One day he'll play at a very high level, but probably owe it to him tonight to enjoy the night and look forward to Wembley.
What did you say to him when he came off the pitch there?
That he's a good player, he's got to keep believing it, and one day he'll play in stadiums like this a lot more, and his name will be sung a lot more than it is at this place for some unknown reason, you know. He didn't get any award this year, except for top goal scorer. That amazes me, because the goal scorer, and everywhere I've been and played, goal scorers take everything. But that's not taking anything away from Simon King, who's been outstanding this season. But the boy Jackson is quality, and it's a pleasure to work with him, because he's a great young kid with a lot of potential.
You've seen these scenes here at full time. What does it mean to the club to be playing at Wembley now?
I don't have to answer, do I? You know, this club, unfortunately, has a couple of bad years, and I was involved in something last year with relegation, and that was horrible. But this year, we've stood up. We're amongst the favourites to get promotion. We didn't get that. We've got the next best, and that's the day out of Wembley. But hey, listen, Shrewsbury bashed us 7-0. We give them a better game at home than 2-2. So we know it's going to be a lot of hard work and a roller coaster ride. But I think the boys should enjoy this evening and look forward to Wembley, because we've just beat a very good Rochdale side.
You savour it, being Shrewsbury?
We've got to do better than we did in the first game against them, but they've got a top striker as well in the boy Holt. So we're going to have to make sure we keep him under wraps in that final if possible. But we're going to enjoy the occasion. I'm sure these Gillingham supporters will come out in their thousands for that, and we'll enjoy it when we get there.
Can you make it a home atmosphere at Wembley? How many fans do you think you can take?
I don't know. People were trying to talk about before the game what we'd sort of take to the Wembley, but I've sort of tried to play that down. People are talking between 25,000 35,000, and if that's the case, if Shrewsbury can match that, what a fantastic advert for Division 2.
What day can it be for you and your players at Wembley?
It can be a special day, because I think this club deserves to be in Division 1, the ground, the fan base, but you've got no right to be in Division 1, you have to earn that right. And the 3 teams who got automatic promotion this year done that. We didn't, but we've got a chance now in the playoff final against a good side. So it'll mean a hell of a lot to a very young group of players, taking probably Simon Royce away in the goal, who was outstanding today. The outfield players are very young, again with potential.
Just how hard have you and the players worked to get to this position?
We started back on June the 1st. People said I was mad, but I've got this passion that you only get out of it what you put in. And they've worked from the 1st of June to today to get to Wembley. Now we've got to try and take it a step further.
You've got time to prepare. Will that help you?
I would hope so, because we've been tested in both games, fitness-wise. Now we've got to, like you say, have a day off, come back in Tuesday, and then really get geared up, because we don't want to go to Wembley and get embarrassed like we did away at Shrewsbury by getting beat 7-0.
Mark, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you.
Very happy, Mark Stimpson. Apologies for 1 or 2 choice words off mic there from some very excitable Gillingham players. I hope that didn't cause too much of offence. Gillingham have every right to be very happy this evening. Their full house there at the Priestfield Stadium has seen their side all the way through to Wembley, where they will meet Paul Simpson's Shrewsbury Town. And to confirm for you, you can see that game live on Sky Sports 2:30. That's a week on Saturday, May the 23rd, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And the playoffs continue tomorrow night in the Championship. Sheffield United 1 apiece with Preston. They go again at Bramall Lane, 7:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And then on Tuesday night, Burnley take a 1-goal lead back to the Medeski Stadium, 7:30, Sky Sports 1 and HD1. And you'll hear from Paul Simpson, get his reaction to his final opponents when we come back. And also from Peter Taylor, who can watch on knowing that his side, Wycombe, are already promoted. Well, there was no horsing around, was there, from Gillingham this evening? They've done what they had to do. And we'll get more reaction for you when we come back.